Hey guys, and welcome to some more Star Citizen. 2.4 is out on the live servers, though there has been some server trouble. It looks like that's getting fixed at the moment, but I wanted to talk about my expectations and possibilities for the 2.5 patch, although this might be a bit early, but let's just still talk about this again. There's a lot of information out there, and that can tell us the possibilities for that 2.5 patch, and I expect that we could get an early PTU build, at least to the Evocati, as early as this month, so June. Although I would expect probably closer to the start of July, personally. If you want to be selected for PTU builds and to get involved with the Evocati and that sort of stuff, then get involved with the Issue Council reporting and contributing on any live builds that you can now, as well as any PTU builds you do get into. And they will be much more likely to get chosen for those early PTU builds and the Evocati if you do that. Also, I wanted to say that everything I say here is speculation, reasonably well researched speculation, but some or none of this could make it into 2.5. I don't know. I'm just reading into the monthly reports, reading into that weekly news, and then studying the dev tracker quite heavily. So, news ships wise, we're almost certain to get the hangar ready Herald. They've been working on that for a while. It was in its grey box phase. They were modelling loads of bits and bobs for it. So, I'd very much expect to see that in the hangar. Flight ready Reliant Core as well. Now, they said that might even be in 2.4 a while ago, so I'd expect that to be flight ready, which I'm incredibly excited for in 2.5, because it is a very nice looking ship, and it's a different kind of style of fighter or multi-role ship, second tier starter ship, they said, so we'll have to see. There's also been tons of work on Drake ships. It's the Drake Golden Age at the moment for development. And the Caterpillar too. So, CIG's pipeline is pretty damn efficient at the moment, and it's not out of the realms of possibility that we could see a hangar ready. I'm trying to convince myself here, hangar ready Caterpillar for 2.5 if everything comes together. More likely for 2.6 maybe, but it's a possibility. Also, they're already getting into the grey boxing phase for the Buccaneer, and they were talking about that in the monthly report. So I doubt there will be hangar ready for 2.5, that Buccaneer, but it's possible. But it's more possible for 2.6. I know there's also been lots of work going into the F7A military Hornet and the Argo 2. Now, I'm not sure if we're going to see them in the PDU until after Squadron 42's out, or at least we've seen more of Squadron 42. It depends on their thoughts on spoilers, CIG's, what they want to do, what they want to do for scheduling and testing and that sort of stuff. So we'll have to see with them, even if they were ready. I'm not sure if we'll actually see them in the game. So shopping and the Alpha UEC, obviously a massive part of the Persistence and 2.4, what they were doing there. And they're going to expand upon that over patch after patch. So they've been talking about opening Dumper's Depot up, which would be probably allowing us to purchase ship components, ship weapons, that sort of thing. We also know there's lots of work going into the kiosk purchasing system, which is part of that as well. That's purchasing items that are too large to be displayed in a standard shop. So instead of going up to a counter or like a shelf, like you would in Kasaba at the moment, you'd be purchasing them from a console or your mobi-glass. That could also include ships, possibly as well. So I'd expect very much to see ship components and ship weapons on sale in 2.5 in Dumper's Depot, assuming that's ready, and possibly ships, but we'll have to see. More ship weapons as well in general. I know they've recently finished 2 new ship weapons, and there's lots of dedicated ship weapon artists working on more. So I'd expect to see them implemented patch after patch. We'll get to see more and more ship weapons. Also, clothing. So 2.5, it's going to have some more grungy frontier clothing, they've said. I expect this will kind of tie into some of the outlaw stuff they're trying to do, but expect more clothing patch after patch. Lots of different more styles. Although they're going to be heavily influenced by the Crusader system, probably. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see exactly what they're going to do there. Also, more first-person shooter weapons that are available on sale. So we've got the ballistic submachine gun. They've been working on another one of them, and also the railgun. Now, it'd be great if we get some more first-person shooter weapons into this patch. I'd love to see the railgun. I'm hoping it's there. Also, as I said, maybe ships purchasable with Alpha UEC. That would be amazing. And selling things. So they've teased that they're working on the next part of shopping, effectively, which would be selling stuff. And that could be selling stuff back to shops, maybe even players selling stuff to players, although I think that might be a little bit further off, but it's the next logical step. So you're going to also want to be able to buy stuff, put it away in storage, and then sell those items later. We'll talk about cargo in a minute, because that's a possibility as well. But we might see an extremely early kind of implementation of an economy now. So that's going to add a huge amount of gameplay. Even if they just allow commodities, allow selling, possibly cargo, that's a basic economy we've got there, because we've got persistence. We've got that money, that alpha UEC that we're generating. We've got things to purchase with, or we've got risks of dying and losing our ships because we need to outfit our things, yeah, so there's progression there. So there's reasons to play, reasons to grind, reasons to earn money, and to become more MMO addicted. Now, I know that sounds really weird, but it's one of the things I actually want in the game, to become a little bit addicted to the MMO kind of progression, so that I want to shop, loot, and progress. And that's what I love about some of those MMO games. That's what I loved originally about EVE Online, that sort of stuff. And I'm hoping that we get some more improvements to the shopping NPCs. A few more animations, maybe them moving around, that sort of stuff. I know they've been working on a lot of different animations for NPC shopkeepers, and we might even see them moving around relatively soon as well. Also, with all the shopping stuff and purchasing stuff, I'd expect to see more Moby-Glass functionality in general, as well as more apps coming online for that Moby-Glass as well. They're going to want to flesh that out. That augmented reality patch on patch is getting better and better. Let's talk a little tiny bit about the Pirate Outlaw base. So this is basically, from what I can tell, the spawn area for Outlaws in the mini PU. Now, they've been putting a lot of work into this. It's going to be similar to Port Olisar, but with that piratey, outlawy, dirty, grungy feel, and with shops that are reflective of that. Now, they're likely to be similar shops. They're giving similar kind of things, but they'll probably divide like the UEE looking armor that will be in Port Olisar, but the outlaw armors, they'll be, or the pirate armor, they'll be in that pirate and outlaw station. So I'm really excited about that, because that will kind of then pit players against each other. There's two different spawn locations. That's quite exciting. I also expect more missions in general for defenders, which will, I suppose, they're citizens. They're the good people. And then there's outlaws and civilians. So kind of three groupings. Civilians, kind of neutral, not super good, not super evil, doing whatever they want. Defenders, actively fighting against outlaws is what I'd say, and then outlaws actively fighting against everyone, I suppose, is the way I divide them up. But I want to see more lootables as well. We've got alcohol that we can pick up, we've got cigars, we've got that scavengy stuff. I'd expect to start to see more of that. I'm hoping they add rarer spawns in as well, so that occasionally you'll get something really rare, because that will make people want to farm, that will make people want to look and explore, and that's what we're kind of lacking in Star Citizen at the moment, in the mini PU, the impetus to explore. People will grind for stuff. People will occasionally go out and look, and I'm sure there's a good few players that will just go like, I want to look at pretty asteroids in the mini PU. But if that's kind of a gameplay mechanic as well, where you're specifically looking for loot, so your character's going, well, I'm looting, oh my god, look at this vista, I think that adds to your immersion. Also, in general, we're going to see more flair, more hangar customization. I'd expect to see a slight evolution of the port mod system that we currently have in 2.4. They're going to be adding to that, improving that in general. Also, item system 2.0. So, this is getting more and more fleshed out. There's going to be more functionality with components like shields, how they interact with each other. They're going to be refactoring sizes, hardpoint systems, adding loads more systems. We've seen the coolers, we've seen the power plants, but these all interacting together, having health, interacting with all the other components, power plants, shields, overheating, how that spiking will affect ship components, how damage to pipes and stuff as well will affect ship components. It's all part of that item system. It's all part of the mechanics of Star Citizen. And I know that they've finalised some of the power distribution systems and lots of work on the new shield systems. So I'm hoping that we're going to start to see that implemented in patches in the future. I'm hoping we're going to start to see that in 2.5. It's likely we're going to see some more animation, first-person shooter, and general character improvements too. They have been working on that female model for a while. and it's pretty much finished as I'm aware. They've also been working on hair, new animations, EVA combat's been getting more and more work. CIG, please give us some form of melee attack or melee weapon. I really, really desperately want that. I've got so many ideas for melee weapons. And we had that melee attack originally that was a bit OP, just spamming X and killing people. But I'd like to see some form of melee combat soon. But yeah, as I was saying, that they've got those female models, they've got new animations. I'm hoping that we see some form of player health system kind of improved and implemented there, a much better one than we currently have. And I know they've been talking about that. We also saw the egress animations a little while ago. So this is like various enter and exit animations to your ship based on how fast you need to do it. So if you're in an emergency and you're trying to leave your Aurora, you're going to be doing it much faster than if you've just landed casually in your hangar, is the idea. So I'm hoping all of that, or some of that, will be in 2.5. It would be great to see customizable hair, and it would be great, or being able to go to a barber and get haircuts, but it'd be great to see the female models in there, so we're not all just men. New mechanics in general as well. So I think the next mechanic we're going to get, whether that's going to be on 2.5 or not, is cargo. They've talked about tractor beams. They've talked about that when they were making the Caterpillar, and I think there was a reason for that. So I feel that the cargo mechanic is right around the corner. That's my feeling there. It's going to be super basic though, whatever they do, and it'll be basic cargo loot and scavenging stuff in space. I'd expect you just secure loot boxes or secure loot that you get from pirates, and put that in your ship. Maybe there'll be missions where you grab cargo, move from one location to another. Literally really early implementation of picking up, securing, moving, possibly even selling cargo in 2.5. Though don't expect too much. Don't expect anything like, oh my god, this is amazing. I expect it to be very, very simple, moving stuff and making sure that stuff can move without massive errors and issues. Also, tractor beams, I think they're coming along nicely as well, so I'm hoping we can see them in the game soon. Now, salvage, mining, repair, and boarding, I think all these mechanics are the ones we'll get after cargo, not necessarily in that order. But we'll have to wait and see, I suppose. It's kind of too early, really, to speculate. I mean, I could speculate. It's never too early to speculate, I suppose. Improvements to insurance as well. At the moment, we've got insurance, which you can kind of, if you lose your ship in the verse, you can pay to have your ship back quicker in the mini PU. But I'd expect that possibly that you'll be able to pre-insure your ships at some point. That would be my expectation there, and that could be as early as 2.5. They'll do something like that, but expect changes to all of this sort of stuff, and they'll see what works best and why it works best. New landing zone. So we've got ArcCorp Area 18, but we know they've been doing loads of work on Nyx, and they've been doing it for ages, and I would expect that we'd get a hangar or elevator accessible landing zone of Nyx at some point. I'm hoping that we see that in 2.5, and I think it's a little bit of a Hail Mary, but it's definitely a possibility. I'd also, I don't think we're going to see procedural planets until a bit later in the year, but we'll wait and see. Balance stuff as well. I know that they want to get repair in at some point, and they've been talking about increasing the time to kill, so giving ships more hull health, more armor health, more shield health, that sort of stuff, so that larger ships, and it will be scaled, I think, to larger ships, significantly. When they're fighting, there's going to be much more of a chance to repair components. So you're like, oh, we need to repair this component if we want to fight, if we want to win this battle. Not, we've disabled this gun, we're going to win within 2 seconds kind of fighting. There needs to be prolonged combat. There needs to be, I need to disable the ship's engines because then we can fight them longer, that sort of stuff. That kind of gameplay needs to be there, because otherwise ship battles too quick. Then that's not necessarily fun. Graphically as well, and this is probably the final point, there's been loads of efficiency improvements that they talked about in the May the Monthly report and some of the reverse the verses and stuff, especially in regards to CPU and GPU, kind of making them more efficient. And also, we know that there's lots of new architecture, new cards coming out. They've got the 1080s, the 1070s. We've got Zen and Polaris, and we've got all this sort of CPU and GPU architecture and new stuff coming out. So we're going to have lots more powerful rigs, or at least other hardware is going to be cheaper. And these kind of improvements that they've made with CPUs and GPUs are great to see actual graphic improvements, frame rate improvements. That combined with, I know they've done a load of new lighting improvements that they've been teasing. I'm hoping that 2.5 could look pretty damn shiny. Shiny in a good way, not literally polished shiny, that blinding. I mean, graphically looking good. But anyway, guys, tell me what you think, what your expectations for 2.5, other than delays or something like that. Just what do you think is going to be in it? Because I might have missed something. You might think something's going to be in it that I don't. Or you might say, no, this is going to be in it. You're totally wrong. Your opinion is valued. It is. And if you like this video, please thumbs up. If you disliked it, thumbs down. That's all good. That's what those buttons are there for. I'm rambling now because I've forgotten what I was going to say. Oh, throughout the month of June, we've got a Buccaneer giveaway. So please comment on any of our Star Citizen content for a chance to win that. And yeah, Drake Dragonfly on Friday. And yeah, I'm going to do some Star Citizen. And thanks, guys. Thanks for listening. I'm excited for 2.5. I'm excited for playing 2.4, to be honest. I'm not bored of it yet, and I've been playing it quite a bit. And I will go back to that now. Take care, guys, and I'll see you in the verse.